For years, I've studied quantum physics and explored how our inner state shaped the way we perform and make decisions. What fascinated me most was not the theory itself, but a clear pattern that appeared again and again across science, psychology, and high-performance environments. External results only change after the internal framework changes. Most people do not struggle because opportunities are missed. They struggle because they operate from a mindset of scarcity without realizing it. An abundance mindset is not positive thinking. It's not. And it's not spirituality. It is the mental framework through which you interpret reality, decide under pressure, and act when no one is watching. So, in this video, I want to show you what abundance really means, why most people stay stuck in scarcity, and how you can train an abundance mindset through concrete, practical behavior. So let's start with the most important clarification. Abundance is not a feeling. It's not a lucky moment, and it's not a number in your bank account. Abundance is the internal operating system you live from. It's the assumption running in the background when life presents you with uncertainty. It's a silent answer to the question, is there enough here for me? Because the moment your system answers that question, everything else has to follow. And it will. Your focus either narrows or opens. Your nervous system either contracts or it relaxes. You either see options or you only see threats. So, when I talk about abundance, I'm not talking about money first. I'm talking about identity. Your thoughts, your behaviors, your emotional baseline. Together, those three create your personal reality. If you keep thinking the same thoughts, acting the same ways, and feeling the same emotions over and over again, you keep creating the same life. Not because life is against you, but because your brain and your body are repeating what they already know. And guess what? The opposite of abundance is not having less, it's scarcity. And scarcity has a very, very specific signature. It's a fear of losing, constant comparison, feeling late, behind, like you need to protect what you have because there won't be more. There will be less. And when you live from that state, your decisions shrink. You hesitate, you overthink, you play defense, you delay growth until you feel safe. And you wait for something. And then you call that being realistic. But realism that's driven by fear is still fear. Here's the key distinction. Abundance is not your circumstances. It is how you see your circumstances. Two people can face the very same economy, the same industry, the same challenges. One expands and the other one contracts. The difference is internal. Your results are shaped less by what happens or what happens to you and far more by how you decide when things happen and what you do. And decisions are driven by mindset more than anything else and more than reality itself. By the way, if you want to explore these ideas further and apply them in your daily life, I share additional thoughts, reflections, and practical exercises in my Telegram group. You'll find the link in the description. Now let's talk about why most people stay stuck in their scarcity even when they're capable, intelligent, and motivated. The brain is wired for survival and loss avoidance. That's how it is. That wiring helped us historically. That's what brought us here, and we're grateful for it. But in modern life, it often keeps us trapped more than it serves us. Survival mode trains you to scan for danger, predict worst-case scenarios, and repeat what is familiar. And the brain prefers familiar over true. It's a fact. So if you've lived through stress, instability, rejection, disappointment, or whatever, your system learns, don't risk, don't trust, don't expect too much. That's why scarcity thoughts feel automatic. If someone else wins, I lose. I have to act fast or I'll miss out. Others are ahead of me, or thoughts like, I'm already too late. And social media amplifies this constantly. You see highlight reels without context, you see results without the years behind them. You compare your behind the scenes to someone else's outcomes. And your nervous system reads that as a threat. Scarcity always leads to short-term thinking. You rush, you overwork to prove worth, you hoard time, money, energy, and knowledge, and you're reacting instead of creating. Abundance allows long-term thinking. It gives you the internal safety to be strategic, to learn, to build, to stay consistent even when nothing is visible yet. And this is what leads to the core shift behind abundance. Abundance begins with one realization. Success is not a zero-sum game. Value is not redistributed. Value is created. Money is one form of value exchange, but value also shows up as ideas, skills, relationships, health, energy, and trust. And these expand when you create, when you contribute, and when you become the kind of person who generates value instantly. This is why people living in abundance ask a different question. They don't ask, how do I protect my share? They ask, how can I add value? The first question comes from fear. The second question comes from power. And when you focus on value instead of competition, something shifts inside of you. Decision making becomes calmer, fear decreases, opportunities become more visible and arise. Not because the world suddenly changed, but because your perception changed. Your brain is always filtering reality. You don't see everything. You see what your nervous system is trained to notice. If your system is trained for lack, you'll see lack. If it's trained for threat, you'll see threat. And if it's trained for possibility, guess what? You'll start seeing doors you used to walk past, and they'll open up for you. Now, here's where most people misunderstand abundance. They think it's a belief. They try to convince themselves with affirmations, but their behavior stays the same. Their emotional baseline stays the same. And guess what? Nothing really changes, because subconscious programs always win. Your belief systems are not just ideas you have, they are the patterns you live by. They are repeated thoughts until they become the default prediction of your brain. That's why abundance is not a belief. It's a behavior. Abundance shows up in action, sharing knowledge without fear, making honest recommendations, helping without demanding immediate return, investing in yourself before you feel ready, and celebrating someone else's win without feeling threatened by it. Scarcity also shows up in behavior. Withholding, jealousy, fear of transparency, constantly needing to prove or protect. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Behavior trains mindset, not the other way around. You don't build abundance by believing in it. You build it by acting as if it is there already. And this is where meditation becomes so essential. Meditation is not an escape. It's not just relaxation. It's how you access the subconscious programs running your life. Yes, they are running your life. When you slow down and become really still, you start noticing the automatic thoughts arising, and really notice them. Try really to notice them. Something like, you don't deserve this. It's not real. It's impossible. Oh, it's too complicated. Oh, you have to work extremely hard. You don't have talent. You're just not worthy. Some of these beliefs might serve you once. They might have protected you, kept you disciplined, helped you to survive. So don't fight them. We acknowledge them and we're grateful for them. Be grateful for them. They brought you where you are right now. But if you keep holding on to those old belief systems, you keep creating the same old results. You don't manifest abundance by attracting more. You manifest abundance by letting go. I know, it sounds complicated. It sounds so different. It is. You manifest abundance by making space. Because abundance already exists as possibility all around you, all the time, everything you want. But your belief system decides what you allow yourself to receive. So let's get practical. First, slow down decisions. Urgency is almost always scarcity. Pause and ask yourself, is this coming from expansion or protection? Is this serving me? Second, reduce comparison. Comparison collapses energy. Track your own progress. Stay on your own timeline. Number 3, invest instead of hoarding. Invest time, energy, and knowledge. Scarcity hoards because it fears loss. Abundance circulates because it trusts creation. Number 4, use gratitude as a tool. I do this all the time. Not force positivity or something like this, but awareness of existing resources. What you repeatedly notice, you expand. Number 5, rehearse the abundant version of you. Not just mentally, but emotionally. Practice what it feels like to be calm, capable, worthy, and grounded before the evidence arrives. Be the best version of yourself. That's how you teach the body a new future. And over time, the results become obvious. Clear decisions, less stress, strong relationships, and most importantly, more opportunities because you can finally see them. Abundance does not create miracles. Well, actually it does, but it creates better starting positions. And here's the line I want you to remember. Your life doesn't change when more arrives. It changes when you think from abundance before it is visible. What you just learned is only the first layer of an abundance mindset. Abundance changes how you think. But the next question is why your thinking has such strong effect on what shows up in your life at all. That is exactly what the observer effect explains. In the next video, I go deeper into the mechanism behind perception, decision making, and reality creation. You'll understand why focus changes outcomes, why attention amplifies certain possibilities, and why the way you observe a situation often determines how it unfolds. If you want to understand not just how to think from abundance, but why this mindset shapes what becomes visible to you, watch that video next.